So I was told that you might be doing today's Zoom call from your home. And I was, I'm obviously excited to chat with you and chat all about the album. But does that mean that maybe we get to see your new puppy, Jack, at some point? Oh, what a cutie. Oh
Hey,
my gosh.
buddy.
So how old is Jack now?
About 11 weeks.
Yeah. And how is life with a puppy?
It's been interesting. It's been easier than I expected, and that's only because he's been a great dog.
Okay.
And I'm realizing like life on the road, traveling and all that is a lot more doable than I expected, because everybody's like, man, you get a puppy, it's so much responsibility. It's like, yeah, but I got friends, I got bandmates, I got everybody who's met this dog so far has loved him. Like, he's not a rambunctious dog. He plays, but he's pretty badass so far, I'll be honest.
I mean, and with a face like that, if you ask somebody, hey, can you dog sit? They're not going to say no. Nobody ever really denies or turns down dog sitting.
Yeah, I've had, he's not fully potty trained yet. I'm working on that. He peed in the house this morning. So I'm just now he's almost at 12 weeks where I can start punishing him and saying no and putting him outside and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, people have offered me to dog sit. It's been like, I got to be careful about who I'm giving them to.
You might not get him back.
Yeah, seriously.
So Chase, not only have you recently become a dog dad, but in the past year, you also became a bison dad as well?
Yeah, I have 9 in the field to the east field. And then I have 10 with them in a different corral because I would just pick them up from Colorado 3 days ago. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I got a lot on my plate right now, but the bison are actually easy. The puppy's the tough part.
I wouldn't have expected that. I'm not familiar with the bison and what they require. So was that something that you've always wanted to do, have a piece of property and have some animals, or did that just come about because it's a pandemic and what else are you going to do?
Oh, I had the property already, so that was the easy part.
Okay.
But I finally looked at it. Like, I'm looking at my fields right now. I'm like, man, I need to do something with this. First and foremost, so I don't, so I pay the American government less money in taxes, because they like to come after everything. So it's like, okay, if I fence these fields in, eventually I'll make my money back just from not paying them as many taxes for the write-off.
Sure.
It's a business decision. And then I also want to be able to walk out on this front porch and look at bison. I love the American West. I got Native American, arrows and stuff that I find on this farm. So it's like, man, it all goes together perfectly.
That's incredible. So would you say that this front porch is your favorite spot to sit on your property, or where's your little slice of heaven on your property?
This is definitely one of them. I got my breakfast room to my left, which I never was in. I'd never even walked in that room before the pandemic because I didn't have furniture in it. I mean, half my house was empty because I was always on my bus. So this place has become a home for sure. I got these old man rocking chairs. I've been reading all morning, just hanging out, relaxing. Because I know this afternoon I'm going golfing with buddies, and that won't be so relaxing. So
sure,
it's been awesome. It's taking the time off has been pretty sweet. I've made this place a home. And that's going to be real reflective on my next album. Not speaking of the one that I just put out, but those are all songs that I lived on the road, that I lived during the madness and the noise. The next record's going to be all songs that I lived in during quarantine.
Okay, this is such fantastic news. I saw rumors that you put out the album at the end of May, just a couple of days ago, but you're already working on the next one. But with the album, I want to talk about that for a second, because you put out part 1 and part 2 last year. You put out the culmination with 4 brand new singles or brand new songs this year. What was it like to put out music in this weird pandemic world that we're living in?
It's a little weird because there's different parts of the music industry in my career that I do, which is songwriting, touring. Those are my 2 favorites. And then there's, promoting and talking to people and telling people how great your record is. It's like, that's the part I struggle with, because the part that I love the most is the creative part going in, diving in, producing, learning from other producers and songwriters who are better than me. And that's my favorite part. And then the touring is also my favorite part. Those two go hand in hand. So
Mm-hmm.
doing all that without the touring has been difficult, because that's my favorite way of promoting is by playing the songs, as opposed to talking about them. And I know that talking about them is necessary. It's a huge, huge blessing because people want to talk about it. I've had records that people didn't want to talk about, which is not good. But so it's been a learning curve trying to figure that out without the live shows. But that's part of it. You got to roll on and keep pushing.
And speaking of, there is one song I do want to talk about on the album. That was The Nights. And I saw on your Instagram, you said, obviously every song on this album is there for a reason. You put it on there for a purpose. But you said The Nights was your favorite because it was, and I think I can quote you, and says, it's as real as it gets for me. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and about that song?
Yeah, it's just a real story. I mean, I'm looking at the driveway that I started that song with. Like I could still hear the gravel, my truck tires down the drive. And it's just about it. It's a breakup. It's a legit breakup. It was a miserable breakup. And some of them are easy, some of them are not. This one was not. The cool thing about this one is though, it was a girl that's just an awesome person. She doesn't hold anything against me. I definitely don't hold anything against her. And it was miserable as it was happening, but it was necessary. I mean, she's in med school, I'm touring. That doesn't really work out very well. But you take the sad moments, and for me, the cool part is I get to create songs and create memories, with words and melodies. So that's why it's probably my favorite on the new parts of the record. Because it's just real. It's about a real story, and it's written in a way that brings out emotions, and you can feel it in the song.
And there were a lot of emotional songs on this album. When I listened to it and I heard Everywhere, the lyrics, the way you go through the song, it just cut straight to the heart. I think I started tearing up the first time I heard it. It was beautiful.
Same girl. Yeah, I actually played that one for her before it ever came out, because we were with each other in Florida. And she's an interesting relationship because she's just such a good person, and we're friends. But yeah, that same song, it's just like, man, you can't go anywhere without thinking this person, seeing this person in your head, whether you're seeing her or not, which you never are, but she's always there. I just wanted to get real with this record, and it's really the tip of the spear that my career is, moving right now. It's the one moving the way. But it's been a long process of putting this one out. It's been 3 parts. It's been through COVID. It was supposed to be 4 parts. That shifted. It's really never been heard live. So I'm excited that live music's coming back, but I've never played Everywhere live. I've never played The Nights live. It's been interesting, but it's finally coming to an end. At least it isn't here in America. I don't know about up there, but yeah, I'm glad we can play them live.
Yeah, not quite yet. I did see some videos and some photos from the first weekend when Nashville, reopened and everything was just fully good to go. And the photos of people on the street and on the bars and on the rooftop, I was just green with envy. Things are still totally locked down up here.
They need to get their shit together then, because the world's opening up and you guys don't want to be last. I don't understand fully what's going on. I've never fully understood what's going on. I've not agreed with almost all of it. But the positive and silver lining that I can take from that is the songs have become the best and my favorite work that I've ever done. I've gone back to sitting on a porch. I've got something to write about as opposed to like forcing myself to write about something. I'm writing with just an acoustic guitar again. And the music is going to be a whole nother level, not just with my music, I'm sure with other people and other artists.
Absolutely. Well. And one of the songs on this album is a complete powerhouse for you. It's on the charts. It's rising every single week. That is your collaboration with the Florida Georgia Line, Drinking Beer, Talking God, Amen. And I didn't realize this, but you and FGL and Brian Kelly go way, way, way back to when you're just teeny tiny little tots.
Yeah, him and I played soccer, Little League soccer and Little League baseball together. And we were friends, but we weren't best friends. When you're kids, you have your own group. And he went to a different elementary school, so we just knew each other through sports. And then when I moved to North Carolina, in 20 or in 97. He started, his family started coming up visiting, our family and the group of families we moved in North Carolina with. So that's when him and I got close. And that's, through those next, 10 years, we got real close and, kept playing guitar together. He learned before I did. He was writing songs. I was just learning to play guitar. And when first time I visited Nashville, I was like, yep, this is where I want to be. And I ended up moving into their house before they were Florida Georgia Line, like right when they were starting that. And so we've known each other for a long, long time. And now it's cool. And, Cruise was their first big hit. That was my first big hit as a writer. And now here we are 10 years later doing it together. So hopefully we'll have a number one song as a, artists together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a feeling it's just a matter of time, a matter of weeks on those charts before it hits the coveted number one spot. And I do have to ask, when the three of you lived together, you would have been, that was, like you said, a couple years ago. So you would have been in your 20s. What was that house like? Was it sort of like a college house, or were you sort of like adults living together?
Oh no, it was called the FunHouse. That's what the guys called it when I moved in. And it was a blast. I mean, we had 2 years in the FunHouse together, and then Brian and I lived together in another house together before he got married. Yeah, it was a party. It was post college for us.
Yeah. Viva la college. College doesn't end. So when the three of you were living together, who would have been most likely to send that 2 a.m. hey, I need a ride home text?
Me. Yeah, Tyler had a girlfriend. Brian had a girlfriend. I did not. I was just trying to find one, and I was in no hurry. So yeah, I was out probably more than they were. Plus, I was new to town, so I don't think Uber was really a thing fully on back then. So it was taxis or me calling one of them too.
For sure. Now, when there's roommates, there's always that one person who's a little bit more responsible, maybe just a tiny bit more responsible than the others. So of the three of you, who would end up getting stuck with the dishes at the end of the day? Who was cleaning?
I don't remember like any of it being a problem. Because I have college roommates where I'm like, yep, I don't even want to talk to him anymore because he just pissed me off one too many times. With those guys, it was really easy. I mean, just take care of your own stuff. And Tyler lived downstairs, so he had a different, kitchen and all that. But Brian and I were the two of the three upstairs, and it was easy. I don't ever remember having any problems, to be honest.
That's perfect. It's all gravy. Three friends hanging out at the FunHouse.
It was awesome. Our story together is really cool. Obviously, they've taken off towards Mars. Those guys just blew up so fast in the beginning. And then, we go our separate ways because you have to. I mean, they're doing their thing. I got to figure out my thing. And it's cool that it's come back around.
Mm-hmm. So now that you first worked professionally on Cruise, that came out 2011, 2012? 12. So now 9 years later, you're working with them as established artists. You all have your own libraries and records that you put out. What's it like working with them now in 2021? Have the collaboration process changed at all?
Oh, a ton. We know what we're doing now. They went through the Joey Moy process with their first records, and they became amazing singers through that. I have gone through crazy, weird processes with all my records with a million different producers and just me producing a lot of it too. And back then they knew stuff I did. I was brand new to the scene. Now I know what I want to do. They know what they want to do. And it was easy. We came together and trusted each other. If they had a melody they wanted to do, I was like, go for it, man. Y'all know what you're doing. And same thing for me. It was, my song at first. So, they'd give me a little direction here and I'd be like, that's cool, but I'm going to do this because that's me. We know who each other are. We know who we are as people and as artists. And that shows in the music.
Absolutely. And when you mentioned your next album, which is in the works, will there be any more FGL collaborations or collaborations in general on that record?
I don't think there'll be any FGL just because we've done that now. We're having fun with this one. We're going to enjoy this one. There'll definitely be other collaborations. I've never done a huge, single with a female. I think that'd be awesome. I love Colby Calais. Her and I actually became pretty good friends during all the pandemic and everything. So she's awesome. I'd like to work with her on one. Anybody else, I'm not real sure. I'll see what happens. But Colby's probably the front runner of somebody that I'd love to work with.
She's just a beautiful, soft melody voice. Whenever she comes on the radio, it's just pure bliss. So that
it's Colby when you hear.
Exactly. So I'd love to hear the two of you together. Any details you can share on that album and potentially when it might be coming out? Any scoops?
It'll be late. It'd be late fall if it happens this year.
Okay.
I got a meeting next week with a guy named, Arturo. He's an awesome, big song guy here in Nashville. He's just a smart person. He works a lot with Eric Church, Dirk Bentley, a bunch of different people. But awesome. I'm trying to piece together a team that can help me make it even better. The songs are better. The songs are I'm just writing better songs these days. I just got to figure out how to piece it together and make it great. Because I put out really good stuff in the past, but I believe that my best work is by far my best work is yet to come. And you can see a lot of that in the album, but now there's not going to be one song on my next record. Every record has songs where you're like, man, damn, should I have put that out? I'm not real sure. It was cool at the time, but it wasn't really me. And this next record, I will not have one song that I'm real focused on that to make every single song create this album that could be something really, really special.
Start to finish, total 10 out of 10 all the way through. Yep. That's awesome. Well, Chase, thank you so much. I think I extended my time a little bit, but it was so great to catch up with you and so nice to see some of your house behind you and you've got a good rock on. As we've been talking, I can see you're enjoying the rocking chair.
The rocking, you can't be sad or have a bad day out on this porch with the rockers. It's pretty awesome.
Well, Chase, thanks again, and best of luck. We can't wait for your tune to go #1, and we're looking forward to album #2 whenever it comes out.
Awesome. Thanks, Leeanne.
Thanks, Chase. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.